Okay. First of all, thank you, all of you, for coming. You know, Melissa Baptiste transitioned to her eternal home on August 9th, 2025. Born April 2nd, 1967, Melissa was raised in Brooklyn, New York by the late Isaac and Dorothy Ellington. Melissa grew up by love that was outpoured daily in her home next to Sister Robin Williams and the late Priscilla Ebar. As a baby sister, Melissa gained tremendous amounts of life lessons that helped shape her career and guided her to success throughout life. In the summer of 1983, Melissa met her forever love in Kenny Baptiste. For him, it was something like love at first sight, and as their bond quickly grew stronger, he knew he had found this person to spend life with. On August 3rd, 1999, the two became one, and from the beautiful union came their remarkable sons, Tristan, Christian, Brandon, Quentin. Melissa truly treasured motherhood, opening her home as a safe haven for her son's friends. What's up, son's friends? And keeping the cherished traditions of Sunday dinners alive. She deeply valued time with family, whether playing dominoes and pool with us or Monopoly with her sons. For Melissa, being surrounded by her loved ones was truly heaven on earth. Melissa joins her precious baby boy, Christian Baptiste, in the clouds to watch over those left to cherish their memory, including me, my three sons, Tristan, Quentin, and Brandon, Robin, and a whole host of other nieces and nephews. Y'all know who y'all are. And the extended family. All right, so let me tell you all this story. Back in 83, I was moving real crazy. I was in them streets like you wouldn't believe. I had no vision of life past 21 because I didn't know anyone that lived past 21. Brooklyn wasn't no joke back in them days. Look at here, it was the beginning of the crack era. If you was around, you know. If you don't, you could read about it. But shit, life on the street was not no joke. And I acted accordingly. Soldier mentality. That's how you survive. But one day I was standing in front of my building. I'm smoking a cigarette. And this girl that I noticed in the neighborhood walked past me. And I've seen her like a dozen times with her friends, but I really never paid no mind to her. But for some reason, this one day, I saw her. And then the craziest thing happened. Never to this day don't understand it. That's just the way it is. While I was looking at her, I suddenly had this vision of me and her sitting side by side in two rocking chairs holding hands. And we had both apparently grown old together. Damn, what do you do when you see something like that? You can't unsee it. So now it's just like, what do you do? What you do is you execute the plan. I didn't have a plan, but I had to come up with one. So I started talking to her every time I saw her. We started, becoming friends and stuff. So one day after about 3 or 4 months, we was talking, and I said, "Yo, there's something I need to tell you, and I don't know how you're gonna take it." She was like, "You can tell me anything." I said, "Well, I had this vision that me and you were sitting in rocking chairs side by side, holding hands, and we had grown old together." She looked at me and she said, "Boy, I don't even like you." And you know I got a boyfriend. I said, "All right, let's start with the first one. You don't like me today. Tomorrow I might jump in front of a bullet for you, and then you'll love me." I said, "As for your boyfriend, well, he a good dude. I know him from around the neighborhood. And that's all well and good. But see, right now, he just a nigga that's in my way." I just had that memory. Excuse my language. I'm just telling you what I said. I said, "So just consider this a hostile takeover." And as it ended up playing out, we ended up together. But we were friends for almost 2 years before the concept of boyfriend and girlfriend even came up. So I would tell everybody, if I had one piece of advice, be friends with your significant other before you decide to take it. You might learn a lot. So once we decided to make our stand in the world, things started moving. And she used to talk to me all the time and tell me, "Look, if we're gonna go forward, you got to change the way you live. I don't want to be a single parent, and I don't want to invest all this time in you for you to do something that you don't need to do out there and losing your life or your freedom." So it made me reevaluate how I was living. And yeah, that woman made me who I am today. Like I don't even really recognize the individual I used to be. So I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Um, you go through things in life. They say what don't kill you make you stronger. We lost a child. Our second child was born stillborn. And that took me to a very dark place. Very dark. But yet and still she was there for me. We had to help each other through it. But then we had Quentin and Brandon. So life moved on. And I guess we had just mutually decided that, look, we got these kids. We're going to make the best life that we can make for them. They're not going to grow up the way their father did. And I am so glad that this woman. I'm always love this woman. To the day they put me in the ground, I'm done. Yeah, my boy. How y'all doing today? What's your name? Hello, how y'all doing today? Nevin, I never thought I'd be up here like this. I don't even know how to start this today without my emotions taking a toll on me. Um, but it's not about me today. It's about the woman that raised me and my brothers. Um, sorry. Um, she put herself last when it came to us, my dad, and when you look up the definition of a mother, it's a selfless human who must sacrifice many of their wants and needs for the wants and needs of their children. And that was my mother's life's work. My mother had many jobs. My mother was a hustler. She could know how to make a dollar. She was a problem solver. But her profession in life was being a mother. Um, my mother made sure we had a roof over our head, clothes on our back, and food in our bellies. And if she was like a mafia boss for mothers, like a Tony Soprano or something, that would be her mantra. That's what she would live by. And if you couldn't do that, that's not mothering thing is not for you. Um, sorry. Um,
took me all over the place when it was just me and her before my two brothers got here. We used to go everywhere together. My mother dressed me down to the nines. My mother spoiled me. The reason why I like different food is because of my mother. Everything translates back to my mom. She just wanted me to show me a better way than when she grew up, and I greatly appreciate her for that. So, um, the biggest thing I'm gonna say about my mother is that she's selfless, and she would talk about anybody else's problems but never tell her hers. She's a great listener, and I'm gonna have to not be selfish and be selfless now because me and my brothers we had her for a good amount of time. Not long enough as we wanted to, but we had her for a good long time, and now my brother Christian can have her, and she can raise him the same human being that she raised us. And it's gonna be tough, but I think we're gonna figure it out as a family. And yeah, uh, that was my mother through and through. Uh, I'm gonna miss her. Yeah, I hope I hope I didn't embarrass you. I know you're like, why are you crying right now? But you know, it's tough. It's tough. And again, I appreciate you for coming out, and it means a lot to me and my family. So thank you again. One of my first memories of my mom. One of my first memories of my mom. I was holding her hand. She was walking on two. One of the first memories of my mom was holding her hand, walking onto the subway platform. I was just a little boy. I was like maybe 3. Her hands were soft and they were warm. She walked me and my brother to her job, and we'd see her coworkers, and they were all smiling. They were happy to see us. They'd ask me questions, but I didn't want to answer. I began to cry out loud. I was shocked. On her lunch break, she took us to the hot dog stand on the corner. The hot dog stand said, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? You got the boys with you today?" She said, "Yeah." He said, 2 dogs on the house for the boys.
She, of course, tried to say, I'm a hot dog man with you. Like the New York. Hot dog man was smiling. He was happy to see me. He was happy to see my brother and my mom. Not everybody here has met my mom. But if you know a good friend, then you can say you know. If you know a good mom, you can say you know mom. My mom would open her home up to anybody who needed it. And if she ever did, you know she fed you. She fed half the block. She fed all my friends. If you stayed for dinner, you get a plate. And if you slept over, you best believe she'd wake up before all of us and cook everybody breakfast. I would go swimming in the summertime every day. And my mother would make me turkey sandwich. Love sandwich. When my friends would come along with me, she would make them sandwiches too. All she got in return. Smile. Another thing. But she didn't need it. My mother didn't need to thank you. She taught us to be well mannered. We did say thank you. That's not what I mean. One year, me and my brother needed school clothes. Shoes. Money was tight. She had a choice. She could let us go to school with the clothes that we already had, which are fine. Or she could do something about it. My mother and my father sold their jewelry, gold, silver, custom pieces, 20 years of gifts of love exchange. They got rid of it for us. As my brother said, my mom did the right thing because it was the right thing to do. She didn't do it for reward, and she didn't do it for praise. All right. Try to get through this. All right. My mom did the right thing because it was the right thing to do. She didn't do it because she wanted praise or anything back in return for it, other than for you to get what you needed. Which is why one of my favorite memories, maybe my favorite memory of my mother, is when we went to the beach. We got there, we checked into this nice condo. They had bellhops, room service, they had big TVs, they had Wi-Fi, they had all the amenities you want on a vacation, right? Game rooms, cafeteria, all that. Later that morning, we went out to look for some restaurants that we might want to eat at later. After we found some restaurants, my mom tapped my dad on the arm. She said, began to pass by some of the nastiest, just disheveled, just rinky-dink, funky, outright just putrid hotels and motels. 10 in the morning, some people just outside in groups, just drinking liquor. I mean, I know we're on vacation, but I'm talking about just, good Lord. We drove past a bunch of them. It was about 6, 7, 8. And then I talked to my mom. I go, Mom, ain't no restaurant around here. What are you doing? Why are we in the ghetto? She said, where? I was like, why are we in the ghetto? She said, I just wanted to make sure y'all knew where you could have been staying at. That was one of the only times she wanted props for anything. And I gotta give it to her. That was the best vacation I've had. When I was just a baby, my mother called me over to her. Said, here, try some of this. It was honey mustard. Take it from my father. But from then on, I knew I could trust my mother's judgment. My mom showed me some of my favorite things. Scrambled eggs, hush puppies, all the things you know I love to eat. She showed me great music, great movies, all of which I watch and listen to today. Things I would have never tried. One of my last memories of my mother was yesterday. I walked up to her casket. I felt her on her forehead. It was cold, hard. Nobody was smiling. Nobody was happy to be. My brothers asked me questions, but I didn't want to answer. I began to cry. It was sad. My mother told me once before, God loves you. When my mother passed, I asked God, please open your kingdom of heaven for my mother. She fit right in. Later that day, still sad, still sorrowful, I began to think of my request to God, and I looked up into the sky. And before I could ask, I saw a cloud in the shape of an angel with a halo holding a baby. So I thank you for coming today. And I thank you, Father God, for bringing my beautiful mother into your beautiful home. And I thank you for her. That's all.
If anybody wants to come up here and say anything about my mother, you're more than welcome to.
Hi, I'm Robin Ellington. I'm Melissa's sister. and I love my sister very much. Um, she was a strong spirit as a child. Born into the family, she was strong. Her presence was known. And I'm like, who's this little person that came along here that I have to watch over? But she's very strong, and I knew she was going to be a strong person. Like, I knew her spirit was very, very strong, and I felt it, and I knew it. I left my home at 17, and didn't go back. I just kept moving forward in life. I wish I could have stayed with Melissa though, in those years there. But she was, listening to Kenny, she was a strong spirit, and she had enough gumption in her to take care of not only herself but others. And she had a very big heart, a very, very filled with love heart, where Melissa probably could have ran the world, Feed the World program, Feed the Hungry program. She probably could have ran that all by herself, but that's how strong her love for people was. And that's the type of soul that walked in her body. But her choice is to love on her family. And if you would have asked her, can you do something as big as that? Her heart was into her family and her children, and to love her family. And that she did. She did it very, very well. You know, this comes as a shock to me, so I'm still trying to contend with this. But I know that she's in heaven. I'm praying on her peaceful passing and to remove any pain from her body. And she will be looking out over this entire family unit. I'll tell you that. All the nieces and nephews and her children, you'll feel her presence. You will feel it. And that's how strong her presence was. And that's how strong her love in her heart was. Very, 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 like she had heaven in her heart here on this planet. And that's what I can say about my sister. And feisty, stubborn, all that. Because she's an emperor at heart. She's an emperor. We were fighting our family. That's where we came from. And it was nothing. Brooklyn was nothing for us. We handled Brooklyn like that. That was nothing. Very, very strong emperor roots in us, and Ellington roots in us. So a little collaboration there, and made us who we are. I want the boys to know that I'm always going to be here for you. I'm going to make sure you have. I know I changed my number, but my family can tell you I've kept with this number for a while now. So make sure that you have that number when I leave, and I'll make sure to keep in touch with y'all and keep in touch with me. Okay. But thank you for everybody being here, and just know that Melissa's in this room with us right now. She's going to look over us. All right. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Daphne West, originally Daphne Ellington. My Aunt Melissa comes from a little 5'3", 4" fighting Irish mother and a Black African American father. They had a marriage when it wasn't even safe for interracial marriages. So my aunt is born out of strength. She is born out of love. And you can see that today in the family that she raised, and she loved my Uncle Kenny. My aunt loved my Uncle Kenny with a passionate love. I could call my aunt on a Friday. We used to spend 3 hours at least every Friday. And who was the topic? My Uncle Kenny. I couldn't even talk to my aunt about my problems. She wanted me to know how much she loved my Uncle Kenny. And she was dedicated. She was a dedicated mother. I looked up to my aunt. I looked up to the fact that she would get up on a Sunday and cook a week's worth of food for her family. Okay? Whether she felt good or whether she felt bad, she got up and she took care of her family. My aunt picked up from her roots. We are from Brooklyn. We come from Brooklyn, New York. That's where our family is born and raised. And my aunt picked up and moved out to North Carolina, Charlotte, Carolina, North Carolina, to take care of my Uncle Kenny's grandmother. She left everything she knew to come out here, and she reestablished her whole family, okay, and established roots here in North Carolina. For me to look out and see everybody here, she reestablished herself and reestablished her family in Charlotte, North Carolina. Many a times I've come to my aunt's house. She catered to us so much that my son, as a little kid, nicknamed her Cooker-Moms. She cooked for my family anytime we came here. And she opened up her heart. But what I remember from my aunt is just, she's such a big-hearted person. It didn't matter what you said. Now, me and my aunt had many an argument, many a fight. It didn't matter. I knew I was loved. Okay? Every family has dysfunction and issues. But when you could go back and that person can make you feel loved, no matter what the disagreement was, I'm in your corner. I will always be there for you. You can always depend on me. I will always be there to support you. That is a huge-hearted person. And that's who Melissa was. She loved down to the little dog. What was his name? Jersey? It didn't matter. She loved her neighbors. She would cook for her neighbors. The person that she was, man, she was an amazingly beautiful woman. And she leaves a lasting legacy. I look at you boys, man, Tris, you're a grown man. And you're a beautiful man. Your girlfriend, wherever she is, you are a lucky young lady. You are a lucky young lady. What my aunt poured into this young man, he is going to love on you and create a beautiful life with you. You have a lot to look forward to. Pray over him. Pray over him. Keep him covered under the blood. Brand, I look at you. You are the most creative and beautiful version of my aunt. I'm so proud of you. And all them business ideas, that was Melissa. Every one of them. She always had a business idea. She will call me and Kabir, what should we do this? What do you think about this? What about this business idea? She was full of business ideas. That's right. That was your mother. Hey, we good at that. We are big time supporters, but if we gotta cuss you, we're gonna cuss you. You're gonna hear the truth. You might not want to hear it, but you're gonna hear the truth. And Quinny, I look at you with so much love. You know why, Quinny? Because every time I talk to Melissa, you was right there like her best friend. She could count on you to look out for her. And your mom is smiling on you right now. Right now, she is smiling on you. And I swear, she will be at the right hand of the Father, praying for each and every one of you, that your faith fail you not, that your strength fail you not. And the same way God never left Aunt Melissa, he's never going to leave you. Every Christmas when things was tight, God came through. Melissa always come up with a plan. Uncle Kenny always come up with a plan. Y'all always had that Christmas tree full. Everything was always provided to y'all. And I guarantee you, God will not fail not one of y'all. Not one of y'all. She is watching over you. She is praying for you. And I'm expecting to see big time things out of all three of y'all. Big time things out of all three of y'all. Your cousin Daphne is going to be looking out, calling, checking in. I want to hear big things from y'all. Melissa, we're having no other way. And I'm not going to have it no other way. I'm going to be checking on y'all. You got to represent mommy. You got to represent daddy. And you got to go out there and you got to take what the world won't give you. Take it by force. It's meant for you. You deserve it. You deserve it all. Put that Kendrick Lamar on repeat. You deserve it all. And stop listening to what the world want to say to you. Melissa didn't listen. She created a business from the ground up. And it provided for your family. Go out and do the same that mommy did. And don't stop. God bless. Everyone for coming. What can I say about Melissa? Melissa was joy. She was light. But she was love in the true sense of the word love. Love not for her family, but love for everyone. I think if you want to think of Melissa, you think of her home was always open for everyone. When we talked, she talked about Kenny. Like you said, it was always filled with love for Kenny, love for Tristan, love for Quentin, love for Brandon. She was mother personified. Everything she did for her family, but there are 4 chambers in the heart. But she always found room in those 4 chambers for other people. Not only for her 3 kids and her beloved Kenny. Her Kenny was everything. And it's a true love story. It's a love story in the sense that someone once said you can only go to the source of that river once in your lifetime. You cannot go back to that source and drink from that same well twice. When you've lost the love of your life, you can't go back to that same river. You might move on in life, but you can't move on from that same source because it could never be the same. I want you guys to know Auntie Marcy will always be here. Always be here. And you know that from the time you all were kids. I know Quentin said to me he doesn't remember the days in Staten Island. He only remembers New Jersey. But growing up, Melissa looked forward to Christmas. That was her thing at Christmas time, when all the kids would come to my house. And I remember when you moved to North Carolina, and she said the thing that she's going to miss is Christmas, when we got together, and there's so much joy at Christmas time, you know, with the kids, with the extended family. You do have extended family, you do have loved ones. We might not be on the phone every single day, but just know
when the time comes, you can pick up that phone and your family will be here, Kenny. We will be here, Kenny. Quentin, we will be here. Okay? I want you to remember that. Brandon, Tristan, we will be here. I want to thank everyone for coming. Melissa she's looking down and she said, thanks everyone for being here for the boys, as she called them, the boys, and for Kenny. Kenny, Melissa will always be on your shoulder, tapping you, saying it's going to be okay. God bless you. God bless you.
Miss Gail, you got anything to say? Or
Yeah,
come on, Gail, you gotta come up here. Miss Gail's like another sister to my mother, so it wouldn't be right if we leave without Miss Gail saying something.
Praise the Lord, everyone. I know this is sad, one thing I say about Melissa, I knew her. She was a friend. She was a mother to everybody. To all y'all friends growing up, your mother, she loved y'all so much, she was last. And for me, one day, my daughter was in the hospital. She was having her son. And the lights went out. Melissa know my 86-year-old mother was home by herself. She called, she said, Gail, the lights is out. It's Grandma, I'm saying Quentin over there for Grandma. So she made sure we was good. So I left the hospital and came. It's nothing like it. Y'all know if y'all need me. Amen. Amen. And my friend's daughter, she was like 6, and Melissa bought her a pocketbook. Told the little girl, every woman has a purse. Amen. And the little girl, we talked to Melissa about 2 years ago, she came over and she still had the purse. She never forgot those words. You told me. And she loved me.
My mother does have another sister in the house, Miss Josh said. Do you want to say anything or you okay? Thank you. If anybody else wants to say anything, I know we got to get out of here. Just let me know.
Good afternoon. So I've known Melissa for over 25 years. She started off as a boss and she became a friend very quickly. She always had jokes, always had laughter. And we knew what type of day it was going to be when we walked in. If she had a Pepsi and a pack of Yogos on her desk, we knew we was in for some, we knew it was going to be a rough ride all day. Everybody has said everything about her already. She was always very happy person, always had y'all a good time together. Last time I remember seeing her in person, we were coming through Charlotte and she was like, stop by. And me and my husband and the kids stopped by. She fed us. I don't remember if we stayed over or not. And wanted to pack us a light lunch to stay. I mean, to get on back on the road. And I was like, that's too much. Like, she's like, no, take it. You'll need it. You'll get hungry on the road. We were on our way up to New York to go visit. But that was her person. She was always. So, no, not leaving without food. And when I was pregnant with my daughter is now 19, we went over a list of baby names when we were in the office. And she was like, no, pick this name, pick this name. She didn't like that name, pick this name. She's like, I'm telling you, when she gets older, tell her what name I told you to pick. And so she's gonna know what came from me. And so you know how you have pregnancy cravings. So she's like, oh, you're gonna make us fat. Every time you wanna eat, we're all gonna eat in the office. But you know, pick out good stuff. Like Brandon said, you know, whatever. When your mom found something good to eat, or I found something good to eat, we go on the phone. What's the new thing? You know, what's the new craze? What are we eating? So we always bought food all the time. Whatever our new thing was, that was our thing all the time. So we were food. But I'm gonna miss my friend, my sister, so much. And like she said, it's always Kenny and the boys. But you got this. Like I was telling Clinton, she's in your heart. She's with y'all. I'm only a phone call away. So anytime, day or night, y'all got this.
Guess we're gonna wrap it up again.
Everybody, Auntie Melissa, that's my aunt. And I'm devastated right now, but I'm gonna try my best to speak some words of life. My fondest memories of my aunt was in Brooklyn. She has this Brooklyn accent that I love to hear, like, and my aunt was always fly. So my earliest memories of my auntie was like her and her bamboo earrings. She always had a fly outfit on. She was a fly girl. We lost some connection through the years. And when I was probably about 17, 18, we got reconnected, maybe 16, I forget. And ever since then, we became like best friends. My aunt was an aunt, one of my homegirls, like a second mother to me. She was everything. And I'm just gonna miss her. I remember one time my grandparents passed when I was really really young, so I didn't have that connection to my grandparents. And I remember a few Thanksgivings ago, I called my auntie and I'm like, Auntie, I want to make a Thanksgiving dinner. I need help because I never did that before. And she walked me through every step. And if anybody knows me, I take forever to cook a meal. I could cook a good meal, but it's gonna take a good 10 hours. And I called my aunt, like, what do I do again? How do I do this with the Mac? And she walked me through every step. She was so patient with me, gracious. And I'm gonna miss her. We checked in every week about meal preps. She would give me ideas for my meal prep every week. If we didn't have time to talk, we were always exchanging I love yous and I hope you're well. And the last time I got to come down here to kick it with my aunt, we just kicked it. We listened to music. We talked about politics. Talked about family. I'm gonna miss kicking it with my auntie. I'm gonna miss her hitting her up and seeing how her day's going, seeing what she's up to. I would send her pictures of me and my partner, and she'd be like, every time you send me a picture, you always eating. She knew my love for food. I'm gonna miss her food dearly. I'm gonna miss giving her hugs, kisses. And I'm gonna miss her smile. And I'm just gonna miss her love for family. We shared that together. We love our family deeply.
Most of the people in this room have eaten my wife's cooking, so y'all know what time it is.
But I love you, Auntie. And I know you're an angel. You're an angel over all of us now. And we'll be talking to you every day, like, you know, you here because you are here. You with us. God rest your soul.
All right, guys. We're gonna have to wrap it up. I just appreciate everybody for coming out for my mother. The repast starts at 4:30. We're gonna have food, drinks, music. If you guys would like to come, if anybody needs the address, just let me know, please. And that's about it for today. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
And I'm sure most of you have seen it, but just in case you haven't, Lovely Julissa has gotten us wristbands made for the occasion. They are